So, Kinfolk, you won't believe what Osama bin Laden did before he got caught. Nobody give a fuck about that boy. That boy is a hoe to me. I ain't gonna lie to you. He a real deal punk. Nigga gonna go ahead and start 9/11, then go tuck his tail like a pussy ass little dog. Real. It's exactly what he did. I wasn't even alive when 9/11 happened, but I know one thing. That nigga is a hoe. You feel? Strictly.
Traded the deadliest terror attack in modern history and then disappeared. After 9/11, Osama bin Laden became the world's most wanted man, with intelligence agencies scouring the globe. For nearly a decade, he stayed hidden in plain sight, not in some remote mountain, but inside a compound just miles from Pakistan's top military academy. So what was life like behind those walls? Find out on today's episode of The Infographic Show as we explore bin Laden's secret life in total isolation.
He don't got a secret life. He's a coward, he's a phony, a fraud, he's a delusional bitch. I mean, I could go on. I could keep going on, gang. I really could. Nigga, how was the whole world scared of a coward? You're a fucking coward. That's what I'm gonna call you. Cause let me woulda did 9/11. Yeah, I'm going out with a blaze. You think I'm finna crash planes into a building and then go hide? Nigga, it's war. That boy is a coward.
When the war in Afghanistan began, Osama bin Laden vanished into the mountains, determined to stay one step ahead of the U.S. forces. He had already made the FBI's top 10 most wanted list back in 1999, but after orchestrating the 9/11 attacks, he knew the hunt for him would be relentless, and it nearly ended just 3 months later. In December 2001, U.S. forces cornered him at Tora Bora, a rugged stretch of mountains in eastern Afghanistan. It should have been the end, but somehow bin Laden escaped. The United States would spend almost an entire decade on the hunt for him, searching across 27 different countries, spending what amounted to billions of dollars, only to end up finding him in a 3-story structure on a dirt road 3/4 of a mile southwest of Abbottabad, Pakistan. From the outside, the building was surrounded by concrete walls, ranging from 12 to 18 feet tall, with coils of barbed wire at the top. Even with that somewhat menacing home security measure, there wasn't a whole lot that set the house apart from the others in the neighborhood.
That's not no menacing home security, nothing. That's a prison. He lived in a prison. Yeah. Even more of reason to call me a coward. Who would, willingly put themselves in jail?
Many of the nearby houses in the area of Bilal town had barbed wire surrounding their properties. The biggest difference was really the plot of land the house was located on, much larger than those of the nearby houses. The compound wasn't just a single main building, but also the surrounding area that formed a triangular shape. There were a number of smaller buildings, 2 security gates to keep unwanted visitors out, and even a designated space outside for burning trash. All the amenities of a modern bachelor pad. Thanks to the high walls, it was pretty hard to get a look at what was going on inside or see which infamous terrorist was living there. There weren't that many windows either, and any that weren't obscured by walls were kept opaque, especially the ones facing north. Meanwhile, the 3rd-floor balcony was completely walled off by a 7-foot-tall privacy wall. Local residents would come to know the home as Waziristan Haveli, referring to the mountainous Waziristan region of Pakistan, and Haveli meaning mansion, either because it was just a big house or possibly because bin Laden himself had previously spent time in that area of Pakistan. The plot itself was also owned by a transporter from Waziristan, Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. Kuwaiti had purchased the vacant lot in 2004 and then the 4 adjoining lots the following.
Man, why do I care? I forgot about the title. You won't believe what I was on, but man, I don't care what he did. I genuinely don't care. I ain't gonna lie, don't tell me about these Islam niggas and they purchases and shit. I don't care.
Structure was added to the top of the house, becoming the main bedroom, where bin Laden himself lived. When you perpetrate one of the deadliest acts of terror in history, you're not going to be concerned about local zoning laws. As for the furnishings, well, it's hardly what you would call luxury, which is probably why the Waziristan Haveli was never featured on MTV Cribs.
How long will this take? I'm kind of.
How many times is they gonna show me a Take 5 ad and I still not going there? And how many times they gonna show me this damn ad? I see this motherfucker again, I'm gonna block it. Don't show me no motherfucking tank.
Upper two floors where bin Laden and his family lived, there were only cheap foam mattresses for the al-Qaeda leader and his wives to sleep on. Plus, no air conditioning throughout the whole house, only central heating. On top of that, there were no phones, so that bin Laden could avoid potential surveillance. Most of his communication with al-Qaeda and the rest of the outside world relied entirely on human couriers, something that would prove to be bin Laden's own undoing. One of the rooms on the first floor was found furnished with a whiteboard along with markers and textbooks. This indicated that it probably doubled as a classroom for the children of the house who were homeschooled in Arabic. That's right, this wasn't just a terrorist mastermind lair, it was a family home too. And not just one either. Several families lived there, including the wives of bin Laden and his 8 spouses, as well as their children.
Oh, his 8 spouses. Hey, I know this is Islamic culture and shit, but imagine being a woman born into this earth just to cover yourself up for a lame ass man. Are you serious? Are you serious? God knew to make me a man, especially a black one at that, cause I wouldn't uphold to that shit at all. Crazy. Let me would have been a motherfucking Islamic woman. Talking about you gotta wear a damn robe every day. Man, go on with that, dog. Go on with that. She ain't got no type of individualism. What's up with that? But hey, it is what it is, do your thing.
And bin Laden's 2 daughters who were both adults in their early 20s. Additionally, there were thought to be a number of domestic helpers employed by bin Laden's family living on site at the compound. 2 women believed to have been maids received medical treatment after the fateful raid in May 2011. But as far as anyone in the nearby Bilal town area knew, the inhabitants of Waziristan Haveli were 2 mysterious brothers named Tariq Khan and Arshad Khan. In reality, they were Abrar al-Kuwaiti and his brother Ibrahim, both of bin Laden's aides. These 2 had little contact with their neighbors, choosing to keep themselves isolated in order to conceal their true identities. The brothers ensured that everyone inside the compound both had everything they needed, but also never left its walls. Any of the neighbors that interacted with the Khans found them to be polite enough. They'd never initiate conversations, but would exchange brief greetings when given a casual salam alaikum. But everyone agreed that these 2 brothers had an air of menace about them too. Some residents in the area believed the Khan brothers were landlords who had moved to Abbottabad from Charsada, an area in northwestern Pakistan. But it was clear from the high walls and the barbed wire that whoever those brothers really were.
Say, hey, keep it on the low. Be honest with me. This shit boring as the fuck, ain't it? I'm knowing. Everything dealing with they fucking culture is boring. Like, what is these damn towns? Khyberapata, Charasada, Ralapapili, man, I don't know about that shit, so it's not interesting. And I dare a motherfucker to check me behind what I'm saying. Strictly. I dare you to. You wanna know what you gonna get? You got your answer. Silence.
Pakistan. Want anyone snooping on the locals, and most of them were rarely seen, if ever, at local community events and celebrations. One of the neighbors claimed that on one occasion, a group of local children managed to accidentally bat a cricket ball over the 18-foot wall into the compound, and unsurprisingly, they wouldn't get their ball back. Rumors began to spread about the 2 brothers that lived at Waziristan Haveli, with some neighbors believing that they were smugglers with all sorts of ill-gotten gains stashed in the house, like gold, weapons, and cash. What was actually inside, though, might well have been even stranger, but it sure gives a lot of insight into how bin Laden might have spent some of that time in hiding. Time to talk about video games, TV shows, and, well, other content that bin Laden might have watched. There were around 183 separate devices that could store computer files located in the Abbottabad compound, including game consoles as well as other digital storage devices. There were as many as 20 people living there too, so not all of what was found on these devices may have belonged to bin Laden. Keeping all that in mind, almost 470,000 files were recovered by Navy SEALs during their raid of the compound, the contents of which were later released to the public by the CIA. There were diaries of bin Laden's movements, his thoughts about the state of al-Qaeda, and even a 19-page report about their links to Iran. Alongside videos of beheadings, there was also footage of bin Laden's son, Hamza, at his wedding.
Hey, I used to see them type of videos on Instagram and shit. It used to be that gore shit. And I used to just be like, Like, it wouldn't cringe me out on that, but it'd just be like, gang, who are you scaring? You recorded this and uploaded this to scare who? This ain't scaring nobody. It's just fucking disgusting, and it shows how evil you are. You know where you're going. Right to the bottom.
Bin Laden even had copies of those US-made documentaries about himself, like CNN's In the Footsteps of Bin Laden, and those weren't even the strangest things he might have watched. Among the cache of computer files released by the
Origins. Damn, y'all just gonna keep showing me the back of her down here. I was finna say, girl, is you pretty? Like, yeah, I don't wanna see the back of your head.
the CIA were pirated online content including cat videos, wildlife documentaries, one video called Horse Dance, and a copy of infamous early viral YouTube clip Charlie Bit My Finger. And then there were several animated films including Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs and Ants, as well as an episode of Mr. Bean and several Jackie Chan adventures, Tom and Jerry, and Case Closed. Sure, these were all more likely watched by the younger residents of the house, but come on, you have to wonder if Osama bin Laden enjoyed kicking back and putting his feet up while watching Ice Age. And then
I don't wonder. I wonder. I don't know. What do I wonder about that nigga? I really don't wonder nothing about gang. He a coward. What is there to wonder about a coward? Yeah, I don't wonder nothing about him.
again, other files found at the compound seem to suggest he had some other extra vocational hobbies. Several copies of other video games were also found in the compound, namely Final Fantasy VII, Devil May Cry, Counter-Strike, Half-Life, and Resident Evil. A game guide for Final Fantasy VII, Devil
Man, that game suck.
May Cry, Counter-Strike, Half-Life, and Resident Evil. A game guide for
Resident Evil suck too.
Delta Force Extreme 2 was also found, though it's unclear if any copies of this 2009 first-person shooter were ever discovered there. It's also widely believed that a compound resident other than bin Laden probably used this game guide, and even if they did own a copy, it's not like they would have enjoyed Delta Force Extreme 2. Not only were its AI and graphics outdated even for 2009, but its multiplayer component would have been inaccessible, since there were no internet cables or phone lines running into the house. Now, life on the run sounds bad enough. Life on the run spent in the same building with no internet and no contact to the outside world? Even worse. He was evading a global manhunt by highly sophisticated intelligence agencies and imposed strict limitations on himself when it came to interacting with the outside world. He never used cell phones or landlines, only communicated through files on flash drives that his couriers would then send out from internet cafes. While to us the idea of life like this sounds pretty mundane, it's important to remember that bin Laden and everyone else at the compound wasn't oblivious to the ongoing worldwide search for his hiding place. Every day they would have lived with the sheer dread and tension of wondering, is today the day we get caught? That cricket ball hit over the wall by the neighborhood kids could well have been a grenade from US military forces about to storm Waziristan Haveli. Life had to be strictly regimented for everyone that lived in the compound, with most of them straight up not allowed to leave. This mainly
See what I'm saying? Like, bro, who the fuck are you, gang? You a goddamn man. You bleed red, you die, you shit, you piss, and you go to sleep just like these women. Who are you to put restrictions on their life? A nigga like you don't deserve women, gang. All you deserve is a damn dog. What's up with you, gang? If you want to run something, my nigga, get a dog. And they dumb enough to go for it. Yeah, they dumb enough to go for it. I rest my case.
applied to bin Laden's wives and the Khan brothers' wives. The only ones allowed regular movement were Tariq and Arshad Khan, who were tasked with shopping for food, as well as being bin Laden's trusted couriers. Neighbors would report seeing the two men frequenting local shops, usually buying what looked like enough food to feed a dozen people. According to eyewitnesses, the Khans would only pick up the best brands they could get their hands on, from high-quality soaps and shampoos to Nestle-branded milk and even sodas like Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Though life at the Waziristan Haveli wasn't all bathing like a king and chugging sugary drinks, in fact, most of the food recovered there after it was raided was pretty basic. Dried meats and fruits like dates, nuts and eggs, olive oil, and bread that was occasionally bought from a local bakery. On the few occasions that the children of the compound were brought out alongside the brothers, they'd be bought plenty of sweets and soft drinks. A local shopkeeper named Muhammad Rashid recounted seeing the Khans and some boys from the compound in his corner shop buying sweets.
Proud of him. Yeah, that's the third and final ad I'd be hit with. Shit, nigga done hit me with 3 ads and I don't give a fuck about this video. Shit, nigga, you ain't gonna get no more out of me. But man, y'all know how I get though, dick. Man, fuck with me. Don't fuck with I, bitch. Don't come.